On my seat by 82%. Know this, I am gonna come through on a landslide just like Trump did. Know that I will be victorious in the...
It now appears if she wants to run for supervisor again, it will have to be as a write-in candidate.
1. Tiffany Henyard, the self-proclaimed super mayor of Dayton, Illinois, and supervisor of Thornton Township, has hit a major roadblock in her political career. The embattled politician, who has spent years navigating controversy and criticism, recently lost her bid for re-election as Thornton Township supervisor during a tumultuous Democratic caucus. This event not only marks the end of her dual role as super mayor, but also signals the beginning of what many are calling her political downfall. Let's break down the drama that unfolded and explore the potential implications for her future. 2. Here's the scoop. Tiffany Henyard, known for her bold personality and controversial leadership style, failed to secure a spot on the Democratic ballot for the April 2025 election. The reason? Her slate of candidates was incomplete. In Thornton Township, candidates running for supervisor must submit a full slate, including a supervisor, highway director, clerk, assessor, and 4 trustees. Henyard's slate was missing a certified assessor, which disqualified her automatically. This technicality opened the door for state senator and Thornton Township Democratic committeeman Napoleon Harris to swoop in and claim the nomination for himself. Harris, who had the required full slate, walked away victorious, leaving Henyard and her supporters fuming. But this wasn't just any political loss. The caucus that sealed Henyard's fate was the first of its kind in 30 years. Traditionally, the township held primary elections, but Harris controversially opted for a caucus instead. Henyard claims this move was a deliberate attempt to oust her. The event itself was a spectacle, with emotions running high and hundreds of people gathering at the Homewood Flossmoor Park District Auditorium for the showdown. The room reached its 600-person capacity early, leaving many of Henyard's supporters stranded outside.
On how the Democratic caucus works right here in Thornton Township. You can also say that she flunked out because her name is not appearing on the ballot.
In the cold. This logistical snafu only fueled her claims of unfairness, with her accusing the process of being voter suppression. 3. But here's the real kicker. When Harris's name was announced as the Democratic nominee, the crowd erupted into cheers, with some even breaking into the infamous "nah, nah, 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 hey, 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 kissed him goodbye" chant. Talk about adding insult to injury. A visibly upset Henyard stormed out of the auditorium.
What do you do tonight if you don't get the Democratic Party's nomination?
What do you mean? I will be victorious tonight. You will see. My people are here. They're not gonna go nowhere.
Shouting accusations of illegality and vowing to sue everyone involved. "This is illegal, Napoleon," she yelled, pointing at Harris. Her dramatic exit was met with a mix of boos and laughter, turning the night into one of the most humiliating moments of her political career. 4. While Henyard's humiliation took center stage that night, what made the situation even more surreal was the presence of longtime township residents who had never witnessed anything like it. Many noted that Thornton Township politics had been relatively calm for decades under Frank Zuccarelli, who held the supervisor position unopposed for nearly 30 years. His departure in 2022 left a power vacuum, and Henyard's controversial rise to the role was met with mixed reactions. For some, she represented a fresh face in a stale system, but others saw her as an outsider with questionable motives. The caucus, many felt, was the culmination of months of tension within the township's democratic structure. Adding to the absurdity of the evening was the sight of Henyard's supporters wandering aimlessly outside the venue, visibly confused and frustrated.
It's the right way. Illegal.
Some complained that they had been told by Henyard's team that their mere presence would guarantee her victory. "We came all the way out here for nothing," one supporter muttered, shaking their head. "They told us this was in the bag." Meanwhile, inside the auditorium, Harris's team argued that the room had been filled hours before the caucus began, and those left outside had simply arrived late. The logistical failures, combined with Henyard's combative attitude.
7 minutes, that's all it took for Tiffany Henyard to be out as the Democratic nominee for Thornton Township Supervisor, and she left here visibly upset.
Only seemed to cement her reputation as someone unable to effectively organize or lead. 5. Then there's the question of how Henyard plans to recover from such a public fall from grace. While her threat to sue has made headlines, political insiders say it's highly unlikely she'll succeed in overturning the results. This isn't just about losing a nomination. One observer pointed out, it's about losing credibility. How can you rally people behind you after such a public humiliation? Even Henyard's most loyal supporters seem to be wavering. Rumors are already circulating that some of her closest advisors are distancing themselves, wary of being associated with what is quickly becoming a sinking ship. 6. For those unfamiliar with Henyard's rise to power, her story is one of ambition, controversy, and, according to her critics, poor leadership. Henyard was appointed supervisor of Thornton Township in 2022 following the demise of longtime supervisor Frank Zuccarelli. At the same time, she was already serving as mayor of Dalton, a position she won in 2021 with over 80% of the vote. This dual role earned her the nickname Super Mayor, but it also sparked criticism, with many questioning whether she could effectively manage both positions. Her tenure has been marked by allegations of financial mismanagement, questionable
for a while. It's like, grassroots. It was organic when a lot of this things started at the township, where the people were, just showing their displeasure.
Spending and a combative relationship with the Dalton Village Board. Let's talk finances for a moment. Henyard has faced scrutiny for her use of taxpayer money, with reports accusing her of spending lavishly on personal security, extravagant dinners, and even flights to Las Vegas. One particularly damaging allegation involves her use of township credit cards for purchases at retailers like Amazon, Target, and Walgreens. In one instance, she reportedly spent over $43,000 on Amazon in a single day. Critics have labeled her spending as reckless and self-serving, with an investigation into Dalton's finances by former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot revealing a staggering drop in the village's general fund balance, from a surplus of over $5 million in 2022 to a deficit of $365,000 by mid-2024. 7. And it's not just her spending that has raised eyebrows. Henyard's leadership style has been described as abrasive and authoritarian. At one village board meeting, she reportedly declared, "You all forget I'm the leader. They want to hear from the mayor. You all ain't learned that yet. The mayor, not the trustee."
But let's do it properly and let the people really have a voice. The people's voice was taken to.
They don't do nothing. They only run their mouths. You all don't do no work. No work. This kind of rhetoric has alienated many of her colleagues, leading to frequent clashes with trustees and other local officials. Some have even accused her of using her position to target political opponents, with allegations ranging from withholding permits for park district improvements to orchestrating police raids on businesses that refuse to support her. Back to the caucus drama. Henyard didn't go down without a fight. In the days leading up to the event, she arranged for seniors to be abused in using Thornton Township vehicles in an attempt to bolster her support. However, her efforts backfired when the buses arrived late, leaving many of her supporters unable to get inside the venue. This logistical blunder became a key talking point for her detractors, who mocked her inability to organize her own base. Supporters were abused in and the bus was late. Classic Tiffany, one commentator wrote online. When she won, it was like she hit the lottery, but responsibility was nowhere to be seen. Now she's proving it. 8. Henyard's reaction to her loss has been nothing short of defiant. She has vowed to challenge the caucus results in court, claiming the process was rigged against her. "I will be suing everyone tomorrow," she declared, doubling down on her accusations of voter suppression. Her attorney, Max Solomon, has echoed these claims, arguing that the caucus rules were unfair and that Harris manipulated the process to his advantage. However, election law experts have pointed out that the caucus system is perfectly legal in Illinois and has been used in other townships for decades. So, what's next for Tiffany Henyard? Her options
sacrifice 32 minutes to an individual that doesn't give a damn about anybody's time but hers. Okay?
are limited. She can still run for Thornton Township Supervisor, but only as a write-in candidate, a long shot, to say the least. Her supporters remain optimistic, with one ally stating, "I think enough people know her name to write her in, and I believe we could still win." However, the odds are stacked against her, especially given the growing public frustration with her leadership. Even in Dalton, where she serves as mayor, residents have been vocal about their desire for change.
And clock is ticking.
At a recent village board meeting, many turned their backs on her as she spoke, a symbolic gesture that speaks volumes about her declining popularity. 9. And let's not forget the ongoing investigations into her administration. The FBI has reportedly been looking into allegations of financial misconduct, with subpoenas issued for records related to her top aides and other village employees. Meanwhile, her cancer charity, the Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation,